See it played, the Marshals Volume 1, Junot and Soult in Portugal. This is the Junot 1808 scenario. It is August 18th, and it is the French operation. So I'm going to assess the French situation here. Okay. It's been a few days since I played last. Trying to remember what happened in the battle here. Clearly the force is demoralized. Delabord infantry here took a step loss, but I'll try to figure out what. I don't even remember how many other what the other losses were in the battle. In any case, in the battle, I'm pretty sure I forgot to check for leader loss. So in that battle, make sure. Yeah, Junot was present. So in a battle where there is the loss of even one strength step, you need to roll for leader loss. I'm not going to redo it, but I'll just explain it. You're going to roll 2 dice, and on a roll of 11 or 12, you're going to lose that commander. And it seems like that could be fairly devastating in a in a campaign like this, where you have, well, on the French side, I think they have 2 commanders, and I think only 1 on the Allied side, Anglo-Allied side. Okay, small number of commanders. In any battle where even one strength step is lost, a roll of 11 or 12, you're going to lose a commander. Seems fairly significant. And actually makes me think of maybe the value of keeping the commander basically off the front line until his capabilities are actually needed for a decisive battle. Because one thing I'm thinking is that you could have the commander behind the front lines with maybe 1 cavalry unit racing around, with a high movement ability. You could even, I believe you can even take your commander and stack him with a decoy. You could even have your commander stacked with a decoy and off the front lines, moving where you need them, want them. Serves as another stack moving around to maybe confuse your opponent. Okay, so continuing with the assessment of the situation. So, just lost that battle there, retreated, and is demoralized, and is activated. So since the stack is activated as a result of that battle, they certainly cannot move. All right, so back in Lisbon, we still have the garrison. Over here in the east, okay, we have a mixed force, 1 infantry, 1 cavalry, 1 artillery. And then we have the commander Loison with 2 decoys, but he also has he also has 1 infantry, 1 cavalry, 1 artillery, and a baggage train. Okay. So by the way, Delabord with Junot in that demoralized stack, he can recover that strength step lost in battle by spending a turn, not activating, not co-located with an enemy, not marked with a has combated marker. Yeah, then you can roll. So you would, for example, roll once 6-sided die, but you'd want to get equal to or less than his current morale. His current morale is 4. If he gets 4 or less, then he recovers a strength loss. Which, by the way, I'll just mention in passing, since I was thinking about it recently. You can keep battering these enemy forces, attriting them basically, of strength steps. And there's a possibility that they keep recovering. You get VP for eliminating units. And so while it's not very easy to eliminate units, that's what you really want to do. You want to actually eliminate units. So maybe that would be something to guide strategy. So the question is, so now, to an extent, the Anglo Allies have outflanked Loison there at the city of Torres Vedras there. Now, of course, they could just march to Vimero and counterattack, but still, the entire Anglo-Allied army is consolidated there, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. But the question is, what's better? Now, staying at Torres Vedras is a city which has a defensive value of 1. They could pull back here and put a river and bridge between them and the Anglo-Allied army. This might have been another thing I missed at the end of the last battle, and I can't skip this over. I'm not going to go back and look, but I'm assuming these are the losses from the battle, and definitely need to score these VP right now. So there's 1 VP for eliminated cavalry unit, and it looks like each side eliminated an opposing cavalry unit. So I'm going to push the Anglo-Allied VP up 1 and the French up 1. And then looks like the Anglo-Allies eliminated a French artillery, and that's also worth 1 VP. So your baggage trains and your infantry, not counting garrisons of course, are worth 2 VP. Cavalry and artillery 1 VP. So Anglo-Allies go up 1 more as well. So the Anglo-Allies are at 4, French are at 1 for a difference of +3 in the Anglo-Allied side. All right. Okay, back to what the French might do. So we know they're well, we know the Anglo Allies aren't moving at all. So the French could move here, cut, or at least maybe I shouldn't even say cut. Maybe I'll just say threaten. Line of communications from the Anglo-Allied army back to the British fleet, but there's nothing to stop the Anglo-Allied side from just moving the British fleet down now to the Vimeiro port. So that seems like a wasted effort. Once the Anglo-Allies really get to the line they've reached now in south, the mountain range there doesn't loses significance. So maybe, and here's another consideration, the army in the east is 1, 2, 3, is really at least 5 marches from getting between Junot and Wellesley. So, but on the other hand, what are they doing out here now? I think we're going to see what we can, because we're kind of free to act without Anglo-Allied responses. I think we'll see what we can do with this force first. Then we'll decide what to do with Loison here. So we'll leave him in Torres Vedras for now. And we will move this. Okay, so no leader. 1 infantry, 1 cavalry, 1 artillery. So I'm going to try to getting here doesn't seem to do much because there's no connection here, no route here. Okay, I'm going to continue to experiment here. So it seems like probably in battle you want combined arms. But when you're just marching, it seems like there's a strong incentive to separate out your mounted forces. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually send the cavalry ahead. So what I'm going to do is leave these guys. Just going to take the dragoon unit here. So the first thing I have to do is roll for command. Roll 1 down. I'm going to add 1 because it's all cavalry, and 1 because it has the cavalry there has a, what do they call it? Oh, I guess it's a line of communications to the army commander, to the strategic commander-in-chief. And then I'm just going to use oh, there we go. 6 plus 2 is 8. So look at the little table here and right here, and the unit can use its full movement allowance of 9. So now it's going to march. So this is a road. It's going to follow the road around here. So it's 1. Mark my little PM track here, my movement allowance track. And going to, now this is interesting. I'm going to draw randomly that first fatigue marker right there. And I draw a 3. Ouch. So one thing I do find interesting, we're talking about a cavalry unit. Maybe it's a scale thing. However, these are the modifiers for fatigue. +1 for more than 10 strength steps. Obviously, this is a 1 strength step cavalry unit. Doesn't apply, but then you add another. It's +2 for more than 20, etc. So basically, you're drawing an extra fatigue marker for each. Not for each. I guess for each multiple of 10 or so, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. And you're adding another fatigue marker for has combated. That makes sense. And you're adding a marker if you enter a zone occupied by the enemy. Okay. And you're adding one for each connection that does not have a clear route from the connection, basically line of communications. Okay. But interestingly, there's not a fatigue benefit. Well, there doesn't appear to be a fatigue benefit for a cavalry-only force. You would think that soldiers, okay, on the one hand, you would think soldiers are on horses. Don't the soldiers fatigue less? Unless it's a scale thing and the designer's saying that at this scale, fatigue of horses is a factor. Maybe. All right, well, he drew 3. That's horrible. Oh, but this is, the interesting thing is this is cumulative. So I'm just guessing, I probably shouldn't look. I'm guessing there's only one fatigue 3 in there, right? So maybe the worst is over, maybe? All right, so he's going to go 2. March another. But this seems to me, well, let's see what happened. Yeah, there we go. So I think the worst possible, that just gives a lot of variability. So while the Dragoons here have a movement allowance of 9, which should allow them to basically march almost halfway around the theater of operations, the fatigue mechanic adds a lot of variability to limits. Wait, I didn't say that right, but there's a lot of variability in what type of limits forces are going to hit. So I think because the cavalry here accumulated 5 fatigue, which exceeds his morale. I'll double check this in a minute, but I think because the fatigue exceeds morale, the cavalry are just stopped. They're not going any further, which is, wow. They did not get far at all. Yeah, so unless there are any exceptions for a cavalry-only force that I haven't noticed, fatigue exceeds morale, the unit is stopped. Now, it doesn't take a step loss because only the multi-step infantry units take those losses. Cavalry doesn't lose anything, but they're done. Wow. Excuse me. So then I'll invert him, showing that he's activated. So this is something to really factor in. So it's almost like even though you have a cavalry force with a movement allowance of 9, this is not like a traditional hex encounter. This isn't like what I think of as a traditional hex encounter war game where okay, each and every turn or operation, whatever, I'm going in exact distance, other than being stopped by the enemy or whatever, other than being stopped by opposing force. But here really, you see movement allowance of 9, but maybe in your mind you should really think in terms of 4 or 5. But I'll get more experience and see how that actually plays out. That is the French operation. I don't think I missed anything, but I'll double check the sequence of play for the operation itself. So I activated for movement, and I verified command. They easily passed that. Oh, that's another thing. It's not that uncommon to only get half of your movement points as well, just through the command test. Wow. Okay, so there was no combat, obviously. No events apply. No. Again, the French have remaining an initiative, event chit, and the Kellermann event shit, so those don't apply to this operation. And yeah, and he's marked activated. So remind myself that it's the Angle Allied operation next. Cover up. Yeah, I can't do anything with. Yeah, can't do anything. So cover French order battle up again, and that's it for now.